Hello class, this is a video tutorial on geometry part 6. In this video we'll be looking at angles in parallel lines. Parallel lines are any pair of lines that never intersect. Arrows on lines indicate that they are parallel. So here's an example. AB and CD. If you can imagine these lines extending forever and ever in both ways, they will actually never intersect because they are parallel lines. To indicate this, with proper notation, we say that AB, so this line, is parallel to, so these two vertical lines in written form, this reads out as let me write this out, is parallel to, so line AB is parallel to line CD. Here are two more examples. Line AF is parallel to BE. AF, BE, those two are parallel. And CG is parallel to DF. Notice how there are multiple arrows to indicate that there are more pairs of parallel lines, because if there were single arrows like this, well, this wouldn't make sense because it would mean that these two are parallel, but clearly they are not because they intersect. So it's very important to recognize where there are multiple arrows rather than singles. Some more definitions for us. A transversal line is one that passes two or more lines. So this line here would be considered a transversal line because it passes through these two blue lines at these 2 points. However, in the context of this particular topic, when you hear the word transversal line, it refers strictly to a line that goes through two parallel lines. So in summary, a transversal line technically is just any line that passes two or more lines, but in this topic, it's referring strictly to a line that passes two parallel lines. Now, with the addition of the transversal, or the transversal line, there are actually now 8 angles that will have special relationships with each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because of this one line, suddenly 8 angles appear. And these are the 3 relationships that we're going to identify between certain pairs of those 8 angles. All right, so let's get to it. The first one is called corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are equal. Notice how I put this letter F there. And notice the 2 dots that I put. It's those 2 positions that we're looking for. So if you can imagine that F existing and those positions of the F, those angles are called corresponding angles, and they are equal. So because this is 100, this is also 100. Now the F can also be backwards, going this way. And once again, those 2 must be equal. It gets a little tricky because sometimes it's an upside down F like this. If I were to make it go like this, we have an upside down F. These 2 must be equal. So because this is 115, D is also 115. Likewise, it can be upside down and backwards. So C, because this is 75, this must be 75. Okay, so let's keep going. The next set are alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. Notice how I've said here, look for the letter Z. Okay, look for the letter Z. And earlier, I wrote down there the 2 dots. It's those 2 angles that we are looking for. So if I put this here, notice how there's a Z there. Those 2 angles are equal. So if this is, well, if this is 70, then B must also be 70. Now it gets a little trickier because it doesn't quite make a Z, but if you go backwards, there's like a stretched out Z, or an S if you will. Because that is 110, that is also 110. That is because these are alternate angles. Here's another example. Going this way, that's 125, 125. And this time the Z is definitely backwards. That's Y. Therefore, Y is also 55. So alternate angles are equal. So we're looking for a Z. Now the last special relationship between, within parallel lines are called co-interior angles. Whoop, I missed it here. It says co-interior angles, it should be. Co-interior angles. Well, co-interior angles are supplementary. And you have to remember that supplementary means that they add to 180 degrees. And for this, we're looking for the letter C, which is what I wrote down there. But notice how this time, when I have that angle, they are different symbols. One's a dot, one's an X. Because they are not equal, they are supplementary. So if you take a look, this and this, they are inside that C shape. So what this means is that they have to add up to 180. So A plus 115 must add up to 180. And this is because they are co-interior angles. And from this we can figure out what A is by subtracting 115. 180 minus 115, that's going to be 70, 65 degrees. So A must be 65. And likewise here, it gets a little tricky again because the positioning of the parallel lines, it's not quite a C, but if you can just use your imagination to kind of rotate it like this, I hope you can see now that they are indeed in that C shape. They are co-interior angles. Okay, so I could solve that problem there, but let's actually take a look at a few examples. You can pause the video and give this a go yourself. But I'll see you in the next video when I go through these 6 examples. Hope to see you then. Best of luck. Bro.